Okay, out here today we have a Beretta Tomcat and a KelTec P32, both chambered in 32 ACP. These are both pocket-sized pistols. They each have 7-round magazines. The Tomcat is significantly thicker than the KelTec. I do appreciate the irony of wearing a BMW t-shirt while I'm reviewing a KelTec P32. The triggers are different. You have a double action trigger with the Beretta. You have the striker fire. Actually, it is hammer fired. Sorry, it's double action only, hammer fired. On the P32, one of the primary differences is the thickness. You'll see that the P32 is about half the thickness of the Tomcat. Also, this is made out of just your plastic with the steel slide, whereas we have a metal frame, metal slide, so the weight difference is significant. When pocketing these pistols, which is what they're made for, if we are clear, the P32, you can buy the little belt clip. It disappears very easily. I'll come around on that side of the table. There's a little bit of printing, but not much. If you have a pocket, if you have a like a jacket pocket, the P32 is going to sit in there and it's not going to drag the pocket down. Whereas the Beretta is heavier, so if I'm wearing a jacket and I just leave it in the pocket like a sweat jacket or something like that, it is going to drag it down noticeably. As far as the P32 the Tomcat goes, it also fits in a front pocket. The printing is much more noticeable. You can definitely see there's a gun-type shape. If you walk around and you have your hand in your pocket, no, nobody's going to know it's there. But it is more noticeable than the P32, the KelTec, because the KelTec is so much slimmer. Downside of the slimness is the ability to get your grip all the way around. You can see that my fingers are basically touching the meat of my palm, or the meat of my hand there, the meat of the little palm. And so when I'm pulling the trigger, I have to be very aware of where, I'm going to turn that upside down so it shows over there, where it is, and you can kind of see there's a stranger angle in order to get the pad of my finger on the trigger as opposed to one of the knuckles or one of the joints. With the Beretta, because it is thicker, actually let me do that, because it is thicker, my finger tends to sit more naturally with the pad of the finger on the trigger. So that's something that you can check at the store and just see if which one you happen to like better. In terms of shooting, this one's a little bit nicer to shoot just because it does fill the hand. You can see here there's a gap between my fingers and that part of my hand, whereas with the P32, that gap is gone. So it's just there's not much to get a grip on. I originally had a P32. I sold it and got a Ruger 380. That round doesn't work as well, in my opinion, in this. It just has a little bit much in terms of recoil, given what you have to hold on to. The P32, even with the magazine, this finger has nothing to grip on. I do not have large hands, and you can see that even my ring finger is threatening to kind of come off of the pistol. It's still a fine pistol to shoot. Just be aware, the difference there versus the Beretta. And when I have the Beretta magazine in, and again, it's a 7-round magazine, when I have the magazine in, the lip of that magazine just kind of catches the bottom of my pinky and makes it easy to keep that on the pistol. So I can get a full grip on the Tomcat, whereas I cannot get that same on the P32. Magazine release is a normal place from the P32. With the Beretta, it's back here. So a little bit different in terms of designs. I have 2 targets set up. We'll see how I do. With the Beretta, it is a 7-round magazine, just like the KelTec. However, you drop in that 8th round. Now you could put 1 round in the chamber and then have 7 with the KelTec as well. So the capacity is the same. They do sell 10-round mags for these, which then increase the base by probably about 2 fingers worth. Gives you a little bit more to grab onto. I don't really like the way that feels. So I'm going to shoot at the top target with the Beretta. The Beretta does have a manual safety, which is nice. Well, I think it's nice. Not everybody does. So let's see how we do. Double action for the first shot. Single action. And should go click and beep. So 8 rounds. I was aiming right at the middle of the top, and I was kind of getting them a little up and to the right. The sights on this aren't terrible. You know, you do have the little contrast of the black in the back versus the silver in the front. The sights on the KelTec are primitive. I mean, like 1910 Browning primitive. I mean, they're just essentially a cutout, and then you have a little black sight up front. And so, you know, yeah, you could put like some nail polish or something on there to brighten it up. But you know, these are supposed to be close-range guns. We're only at 15 feet or thereabouts, and so that's, you know, range-wise, probably about as far as you would want to go with these. So here it is, the KelTec, and you notice my pinky with the magazine in. My pinky has no sense, so it just has to go underneath. And so you see the KelTec locked open, whereas the Beretta does not. It is that double action only trigger. I was able to get a little bit better of a grouping and a little bit closer to point of aim. So if we can show the little target down there. The KelTec was on the bottom, and then the Tomcat was on the top. It is a very shootable gun. I mean, I like this pistol. If you need something that is, you know, it's just something you can stick in your jeans pocket, and then using that clip there again, which with the clip in the back of the pistol, it kind of looks like it's just a knife sitting in your pocket. So it's easy to conceal. It is very lightweight. Obviously, you know, 32 is not the most powerful round. It's killed plenty of people, but it's not the most powerful round. Europe was still producing 32s regularly, what, into the 70s, something kind of like that. So the two pistols, they're just a couple of the pocket options in 32, and it's the KelTec P32 and the Tomcat, the Beretta Tomcat, I think it's the 3032.